Good morning. How are you this morning? I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that the collective family has been blessed. And we are all here together once again for the morning messages from Spirit. So, we find ourselves transformed. We find ourselves moving forward. As I was doing my meditation, the fairy deck wanted to come out. I love the fairies. I love the fairy deck. I love it. I love it. And then we'll do our regular clarifiers, okay? All right, so we're trying to find a balance, okay? Because while we're waiting, right? While we're waiting for things to grow, while we're waiting for the things that, well, we're waiting for our manifestations, okay? You know, we're trying to remain loving. We're trying to remain positive and kind. We are trying to do that because that helps with our manifestations. But it seems like, you know, we're coming out of a battle. We're definitely coming out of a battle. We've experienced some kind of loss, definitely. And it's forever changed us, okay? Yes, I see that too, okay? And we're trying to remain in a good place moving forward. We really are. And if you have water, a body of water near you, you may benefit from spending time near it or in the vicinity thereof, because the two rocks we chose were rocks from the sea. So that energy is present today. Maybe the water, very calming, very soothing, because while we're trying to find balance, water always makes you feel centered and grounded, very calming, very peaceful, very cleansing for the energy, right? Yeah, something has happened. Something's ended, and it changed us. We got hurt. We got hurt. And it's almost like we're trying not to be in the space of waiting for the new battle, waiting for the new thing, waiting for the new problem, waiting for the new... We're trying to stay very positive and very loving, right? I mean, we're trying to stay in a good place because we want our manifestations to be positive. We don't want anything to interrupt or to disrupt the energy. Excuse me. Now that has occurred, right? And we're changed. I mean, we're bossing up the energy big time. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's the go big or go home kind of thing, you know? It's the final countdown. You know, it's like, here it comes. We can feel it, right? All of our manifestations, all of our hopes and dreams, all of the things that we are wanting, right? The balance that we're seeking, the partnerships, the teamwork, the business partners, the assistance with new ventures, like that all comes into play. And so we're staying very positive. I mean, very, very positive. They're just like, look, stay on the path, you know, stay on the path. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. I can see that, right? Because we have new money opportunities. King of Pentacles energy, Six of Pentacles. So we're not only in charge of how our material needs are met, right? We oversee that. We're in charge of it. We're in command of it. But there's a balance. Remember, we're trying to balance our money. We're trying to be level. We're trying to keep it on the even keel. We are. We achieve that. Right? We do. Because we keep the love and light mantra, right? We stay on the path. We realize that we've been hurt, that sacrifices were made, you know. We feel like that, like, and it's like people who were watching you, you know, and they were almost preying on your loss, and it becomes your victory. It's like you stayed on the path. You kept your intentions pure. You did all of those things, but people were watching to see you fail, or watching to see that you lose. In little ways and big ways, it's almost like they wanted the little things, the things that maybe you weren't paying attention to be your downfall. You know? But we stayed on the path. We stayed on the path. We kept the mantra. We kept the love and the light. We stayed in the energy of moving forward with pure intent, right? We made sacrifices. Absolutely everyone does, you know. But it's almost like instead, those sacrifices, they almost became our identity, right? It almost became like, this is my destiny. This is what, you know, I'm doing now. You know, we may have been in that energy of, you know, yeah, they're bringing to my mind a couple so the wife in the couple, she married this gentleman, and at the time he had a handicapped child, and the child was living with their mother. They got married, and then that became, the child is now living with them, and she may have seen that, like, okay, I knew that this was a possibility, and this is my life now, and it's now my identity, you know, mother of this child, and these are all of the things that go with that. And this gentleman was not faithful in that relationship, and they ended up getting a divorce. So, you know, it's almost as if that became her identity, and then when that relationship was no longer together, she sort of had to re-identify herself, you know, without that identity. Did her sacrifice matter? Absolutely. It mattered in the life of that child, you know. Not that I don't think she saw it as that, but that's a very hard relationship to be in. That's a very hard situation to be in for a layperson, someone who is not trained at all to do that, to learn all of the skills that are required for that, right? So, excuse me, was the sacrifice uh, did it become her identity? Yes. She walked into that energy of, this is my new identity. But it may have changed. So in the past, we may have made sacrifices. You know, that may be part of the injury. We've made sacrifices. We've identified ourselves with the energy of that. Not unhappily, you know, but time may have changed that. Over time, our direction in life may have changed. I mean, I almost feel like that's true for some of this energy. It's like I was okay with that. I was okay with, you know, maybe taking care of a parent or a grandparent, or stepping in a family situation or at work, and that became your reality. That became part of your identity or title, you know, if it's a work situation, right? And taking that on became part of how you identify into the world. It also carries with it an authority, a responsibility, you know. So that may have been the situation, and then, you know, destiny steps in and it's like, well, no, that's not where we're going anymore. You know, this is a change of direction for that energy. Okay. Okay. So right now I'm looking at it, and there's an expectation that good things are coming to you. It's almost like you foresee that because you understand the rule of karma. You understand how life works at this time for you. You're not accepting anything less than okay. You're not accepting anything less. So that is an expectation, you know, that my opportunities will come to me. They will be good, and the right people will fall into place for these opportunities. This will all be positive because in your transformation, you have now decided you're not accepting anything less. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Now, you know, you have these new opportunities that you control because you're not letting things get out of balance. You're not letting anybody else take control in the situation anymore. Okay? Because when you look to the future, you realize that not being in balance financially, not being in control of your money, or not grasping at new opportunities when they presented themselves, that did not bring you to where you want to go. So now you're doing this so that your future is assured. It's like I said, you know, Spirit explained it to me. Every choice we make, and not making a choice is a choice. It brings us, it paves the way to our future. Every choice is like another brick on the road to our future, right? Okay. So I really feel like someone is watching you. It's almost like it's predatory. Like, it's like someone's watching you. They want to see in little ways and that turn into big ways. They want to see losses here. Okay? They want to see losses. They want to see, you know, the little things eat away at your or undermine your success, right? You keep your intentions pure. You're like, okay, that may be so, but we keep the love and light mantra. We keep it positive. You know, perhaps our wounding and our sacrifice, we learn the lesson. We keep our intent pure. We realize that it wasn't about that situation. It was about our growth and moving forward. It was about learning and seeing the things that were holding us back, that were causing us to stumble on our path, right? We're paving this path, but maybe we were getting stuck in the same situations. Maybe the things that were holding us back were really tripping us up, right? We realize that, we look at that, we say, okay, those are the things that were causing us to stumble on the path. We are grateful for the lesson. We move forward. Like, yes, things are going to go wrong. Things are going to trip us up. There's going to be stumbling, you know? And that's fine. That is absolutely fine. We're learning. We're all on the journey. We're all going together. We're all elevating together. We're all learning together. But in a more personal way, it's almost as though we have to look at, as an individual, not just as a collective, what is it that was causing that, right? We keep our intentions pure. And unexpected gifts come our way, right? It's almost as if on the path, remember, we're laying our foundation, we're laying the brick through every choice. And on the path, because we made good choices, unexpected things occur, you know, because we chose not to be petty and not to let ego, when we stumble, not to let ego say, oh, well, you know, why is it that we're always stumbling and that person is, you know, always just fine? We don't like that person. You know, we don't let ego get in and tell us that we should be doing this, or we should be doing that, or we should be so much further along on the journey. We are walking at our own pace. We are learning our lessons, because we have to learn to walk before we can learn to run. We are putting one foot in front of the other safely and assuredly, and that brings unexpected blessings, right? In this one, it's unexpected income. Nice, right? Okay. Now, it's almost as though, okay, so I keep saying it's almost as though, right? In this energy, you know, where we're trying so hard. We're trying so hard, right? Because sometimes people can be quite vicious and cruel. And if you're like me, you're always sort of just, they catch you flat-footed. You almost feel as though, how could anyone be this awful? I get it. I do. And we're really trying to look for the love in our lives. It's not far away, right? We're still walking in that love and light. We're still on the path. We stay on the path. It's almost as though we get like notified that this is working. You may notice synchronicities. You may notice your happiness, your smile is infectious. You notice in little ways and big ways that staying in this energy is a positive thing. But it's almost as though somebody reaches out, right? Because communication always comes from someone else. So it's like someone sends you a letter in the mail saying thank you for something that you did, that you really didn't think that was going to happen, or somebody sends you a text message, like that really made a difference for me. Your kindness, you being a loving, kind person, watching you, and you're constantly being family oriented and constantly, your constant dedication to your family, always putting others first, always, it's almost like not putting others first, but not allowing having priorities and your priorities matter, right? Thank you, Teddy, for the confirmation. So that, and since they brought this story to my mind, I'm going to share that, and then we're going to close out our morning messages with Spirit. But Spirit brings it to me, I tell it to you. That's how this works. So I remember I was talking to a gentleman one day, and he was telling me he was tired of buying his kids toys for Christmas. He's tired of buying them all these expensive toys, and they don't play with them. They play with the boxes. And he was very discouraged. He really felt like he was doing something really wonderful, you know? And the kids were just being ungrateful, you know? And it was a lot of money to him, and he really felt like this was... And I said, well, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite toy at Christmas? What was your favorite part of Christmas? He said, opening up the toys. I said, okay. But what was your favorite toy? And he couldn't tell me. I said, oh, so you just love opening up all the presents on Christmas morning. That was the thrill? And he said, yeah. And I said, but you can't name one toy that you just were in love with, or they just all blended together? Like, not one? And he said, no, I really can't. I mean... And he couldn't, right off the top of his head, name one, you know, dynamic, amazing, wonderful toy that his parents bought him for Christmas, you know. So I made the suggestion, perhaps, instead of spending so much money for these elaborate gifts that, you know, you consider that the most extraordinary part of Christmas for you was opening up the presents. So maybe less expensive in a greater multiple, you know? So instead of spending $200 on this really great toy that you thought they would love, you spend the same $200, you buy maybe 3 or 4 presents, and you know, they get that experience like you really loved of running in there and opening up all the presents, and you're not upset if they don't remember or they don't play with all of them, because the most exciting part was waking up and opening up the presents, and you brought that same energy. And he said, I'll consider it. So Christmas goes by, a lot of time goes by, maybe 6 months, 9 months, and I see this gentleman again, and he tells me, he says, I want you to know you saved Christmas. And I thought, I did? And he said, yeah, the advice you gave me, that saved Christmas for me and for them. It was nice of him to tell me that. He didn't have to. But maybe you get a message of how you're staying on the path and being a good person has made a difference in someone else's life. You know, we are all facing the same 24 hours and the same kinds of energies and people in the world. But sometimes something we do or say when we are on this path changes someone else. So I encourage you absolutely every single day to show up as your best self and to give your best advice, to always be present in people's life as love, as light, as positivity. No matter what happens, we're here to help each other. We're here to love each other. We're here to be kind to each other. And if you can be that reminder and that beacon every single day, as much as you can be. We're all human, as much as you can be. You know, you can make a difference. And it looks like to me, you have decided that in your transformation, you are walking this path and you are settling for nothing less. One final message from Spirit, and I want it to be from my fairy friends. They are so earthy and wise, right? Cast spells of wonder and delight from the spell singer. Like I said, the magic that enters another person's life could just be you being your best self. I hope that you are having a wonderfully magical day just by being you. I'll see you again. Thanks for joining me. I can't tell you how much this meant to me. I was so excited to do the morning messages with my collective family today. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you. Bye.